Hi everyone. I just picked up, I went to the swap meet, the Pomona swap, not the Pomona swap meet, the MP swap meet in Anaheim, and I picked up this 911 door for $5. And I don't have a 911, I have a 356, but I always wanted a 911 or 912, so when I saw this $5 door, it kind of inspired me to get it and kind of get me to buy one eventually when I could afford one, or when I sell one of my classic cars and go out and buy one. If you see it, the quality of the film is not that great, but if you look at my straight edge, how it's going across, I get pretty much my hand underneath that center piece right there, and that's pretty low. It's about at least an inch lower than it has to be. And look at how bad it is right here. It has, I actually took some of this dent out when I got home. I started to mess with it, and then my wife says, go ahead, hey, why don't you videotape what you're gonna do? So the next process is I'm gonna strip the paint down, which is no brainer. You've probably seen people strip paint, but whatever I'm gonna do that's monotonous or whatever, I will fast forward it. So here we go. So this is what you see. There's all kinds of dents everywhere. I just wanted so you could see it in the camera. I'm sure you can. See this very low spot here. I mean, dented here. And see, if I address these first, this and this will naturally pop up. But still needs some work because there's dents on top of dents. And this one too, if I massage this somehow, this will come up, and this is pretty bad also right here. There's a small crease here, there's a long crease here. It was about 18 inches, and that'll have to be addressed alone after I address these two dents. So as you see, you have to attack it not with a big sledgehammer, but where it got dented in and where the high spots are, you have to knock them down first. This is kind of a high spot from this getting hit like this. It got hit like this. And then when probably the car turned on the side, it got crease, maybe a parking lot accident, maybe the car flipped. I have no idea. But you'll see right here, it's hard to show, but just take my word for it, it's pretty darn bad. So what I'm going to do is unskin it. I'm surprised there's very little rust here. I mean, it's not even rusted through. I'm sure a lot of people's cars are way worse than this. But when I undo the skin, I could address that pretty easily. There's a couple little hole there, for when the car it almost looks like it went against the wall and slid for a while. But we're gonna continue. Well, here you go. Cut it out. I bent the tabs over, and what I did, instead of drilling out the spot welds that you saw, there were hundreds of spot welds, what I did, I just dragged my plasma cutter to the side of it. So what I'll do is I'm just going to weld this back together here, and then I'll let it. I think that was the path of least resistance, because to get this piece off was murder. I had to cut it with a plasma cutter. There was some lead there, but not a big deal. And I had to blow all these rivets out where it attaches to the inside where the window goes. So not horrible. So what I gotta do next, I'm just gonna straighten the lip out make sure I have it clean, and you know, I'll run my sander of it so I don't cut myself as I'm doing it. It's very hard to see, but my main address is this big dent here and this big dent here, which will probably pull most of this dent out. But this it's been hit from a separate time, so I'm gonna conquer the bigger dents first, where the radius is, and right here there's a dent here. Also right here, this is where most of the big dent is. And I noticed just by turning it upside down and stepping on it, it really straightened this area out without even having to do much. This was all inside. This had almost a whole inch inside. Now it's pretty flush, but very denty and wavy, but like it doesn't tin can anymore. Very little. So I'm gonna keep on going with this. I can't even feel the big dent that was here, but I'll challenge this one right here, and this right here I will attack too, because this crease has caused the whole door to kind of twist right here. So the top is still pretty good, but it's getting fixed quicker than I thought. But I want it really nice, so when I finish this, I'm just going to put a clear coat on it and store it, and maybe in the future I'll have the car. If not, I'll sell it to someone. But I want this be bundle free and lead free. The only lead I'm going to have is on the corners after I weld that piece back on, because it's the only place I didn't want to drill all the spot welds. So this will get welded in there, grind it down, and let it in. So it's inside, you can't really see it anyways, and these are really good. I mean, it's just surface rust, so I'm excited because this door is a lot better than I thought it was. All right, well, I'm starting to get this ready so I could use my shrinking disc. Unfortunately, I can't find my one I've had for forever, for about 30 years. Never really used it until I started doing my 356. Started getting a hand of how it's used, and that's why I didn't use it. So now I'm going to sand this part. This part has shrank. Stretched out, and it's tin canned really bad. I was starting to mess with it, and it seems to work okay, but it's not like my other one. My other one had like ridges in it, and it got hotter quicker. These are just, the new ones you get are just flat, which a lot of people like better, but I'm going to still look for my darn thing. Here you go. I'm going to sand this to prep it so I could use that tool. I had to flip it, clean up the inside, and I started shrinking it from that side because there's so much gouge marks and everything on the other side, and I don't want to sand the panel down more than it's been sanded. So I decided to go on this side where I could have the metal a little bit cleaner, and I used the shrinking disc on it, and it seemed to work better. So I basically, if you look at, you can't see with the camera, but there's a little whoop-de-doo right here. But I don't really want to massage anymore. I'm going to keep trying to shrink it in this area because it's been stretched to past its stamping limit, or whatever they call it. I know in the factory when they stamp these, it has a memory if it gets hit. So if it got hit once, you could pop the dent reasonably easy out. If you hit it in certain areas like the high spots, and don't try to hit it in the low spots out. So these people, whoever repaired this, and most body shops will do this, they'll just bang it in a little bit more and then apply filler on there and call it good. But we're working with a Porsche or a high-end car. You don't want a lot of Bondo in the car. So seeing that it's been hit several times and repaired several times, it's lost its memory. I guess that's what you call it. If you get hit in the head, you lose your memory too. So I could understand why it lost its memory. So it's a slow process to bring it back to where the shape is, but it's getting there. It's just I have to shrink it a little bit more in this area right here so I can come back and start massaging it back in shape. I may have to put this in the English wheel, but trying not to do that. I have a handheld one from, if you look at my previous videos on my 356 when I did the roof. I have to figure a way to mount this and use the English wheel. I'd rather do that than use that one I have from Harbor Freight. But it's a lot better. So I'm going to keep going on it. I'll fast forward in the video where it needs until it gets to the point of talking again. Here it is. It's back to normal, is what you call normal, but no more big cavern, more big gouges. This is incredibly trashed right here. This is still the gouges, but I could be cleaned up after it's put back on the structure. But all the radiuses are back in place. This crease is taken care of. Just a little bit of finessing after it's on the structure, then you could actually use it. Well, thank you very much. God bless.